Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Going to read through the full article here. There's a link in the description. This incident happened on Sunday at a Easter show in Perth, Wanneroo showground. It's kind of a hideous situation here, so we're going to read through the details in full. An 18-month-old girl was allegedly punched out of her mother's arms by a woman who then tried to stomp on the 18-month-old girl in a horror incident at an Easter show festival in Perth. Police were called to the event in Wanneroo, the city's north, on Sunday, where it's alleged a woman punched the young girl from her mother before attempting to hit her again whilst the girl was on the ground. The mother said, "Thankfully, we pulled her back up before the woman could attack her again." The woman was mouthing off, swearing, mouthing off at the staff and punched a carnival worker, then turned on the young woman standing next to her, who recorded the incident. So seemingly there might be a viral video of this incident somewhere in the internet sphere. I don't know if this is the 18-month-old girl. It would make sense that it is. And blessings to her and her family. The incident allegedly occurred near the festival's Dodgem car ride on Sunday afternoon in front of shocked guests. Here's a quote from the mother. "She jumped the barrier, then approached me saying, 'Don't touch my kids.'" I'll put on a Bogan accent quickly. "Don't touch my kids, mate." Every swear under the sun. She then smacked my 18-month-old daughter out of my arms and punched her to the ground. What a fucking Bogan scum. The attacker attempted to step on my daughter. Oh my fucking god. Thankfully, we pulled her back before she could. I wouldn't have been pulling her. I would have been smacking her square in the face. Not smacking, I mean with a fist or instrument that comes close to hand. But likely my fist, punching her right in the face, probably several fucking times. I wouldn't be pulling her back. I would be just... Oh, I shouldn't say. Police are urging anyone who was in attendance to come forward as they continue their investigations. Wanneroo police are investigating an incident at the Wanneroo showground on Saturday. Okay, I guess that's a typo. It says Sunday up here. Happened on Sunday. At around 2:25 p.m. An unknown woman allegedly struck a child. Now, I'm going to say a couple of things. Well, first off, thank you for listening. There's a link in the description. If you do like this kind of content, please do like, comment, subscribe. But I'm now going to enter into a little bit of a rant. If that's your thing, it may not be. Going to make a couple of points if I remember them. Firstly, an unknown woman. Why wasn't she restrained? Why wasn't she restrained? Okay, I understand that the mother may not have been in a position to restrain her. The mother has to take care of her 18-month-old child that's just been kicked and punched to the ground. So I get that the mother is a little bit predisposed. I wouldn't blame the mother for not apprehending this crazed, psychotic, violent woman that did that to her child. We hope her child's fine. We really do hope and pray that she is. And that, and that she is able to get over this, because this is going to be scary for her. Could induce PTSD or anxiety to some level. So, full prayers to the 18-month-old and the mother and the family. But I do have to question, pardon my French, why the fuck wasn't this, pardon my French, Bogan, pardon my French, cunt? Why wasn't this Bogan cunt apprehended? Why was she allowed to fucking get out of there? You've got workers here. You've got carnival workers. You ought to have some level of security. You have all of the other patrons. If you're a person there, particularly if you're a man. Why am I being sexist at this point? Well, because men have more physical strength than women, significantly so, typically. Occasional exceptions to that, but typically. So a man ought to be in a position, certainly a couple of men ought to be in a position to apprehend this crazed lunatic woman. So I'm disappointed that the patrons, the workers, the security allowed this woman to get out of there. So that disappoints me. That disappoints me, and I do hope that she is caught on CCTV footage or a dash cam footage, or there's ample witnesses that are able to provide leads to the police. I would imagine that they would be able to do that. I hope they do. I hope they apprehend this woman. She's a lunatic. Clearly she's a danger to others, danger to children in the community. She needs to be locked up, either in a mental institution or in a prison, in a jail. So we hope that the investigation goes well. Another part of my rant that I'm going to say, and I'm going to perhaps be a little bit careful with my words at certain points, but here's what I think, here's what I suspect is happening across the world. Now, I know that's a very grandiose statement to make, but this is what I think. Could I be wrong? Yes, absolutely, I could be wrong. Could I be a conspiracy theorist? Yes, I could indeed be a conspiracy theorist. Is there a chance that you're going to thoroughly disagree with me and think I'm a bit of a weirdo? Yes. Every chance that you already do. But here's what I'm going to say. I have a feeling, I suspect, that what's happening in the world, part of what's happening in the world, is we are seeing otherwise so-called normal, civilized, law-abiding people losing self-control. Perhaps we are seeing people who struggle with self-control but mostly maintain self-control losing self-control. I think there is a mass loss of self-control. Why do I think that? Well, because I'm reading through these articles, and there's multiple articles of people that don't necessarily have mental health issues that they're aware of or that's reported. People that are in full-time employment, people that have houses and cars and have a little bit of wealth. They're not desperate people. And they're doing these outrageous things which are so unnecessary. So unnecessary. Okay, violence happens. Okay, we get that. But typically there's a motive in regards to the violence. You know, I've made a few videos this evening in regards to shootings and mass shootings. Now, typically the shooter would have a target and they're looking to harm or kill the target for a reason. Let's say, just a random example, they're rival gang members as an example, right? But there's a reason, there's a motive, there's logic. Not justified logic, don't get me wrong, but in a lot of violent cases there is a logic. But what I'm seeing a lot of is cases in which there are otherwise normal people in otherwise normal settings doing acts that only a lunatic would do. Why the fuck would a grown woman kick a stranger's 18-month-old? How does that even happen? Maybe there is a very definite reason, a defined reason. Maybe the woman concerned is medically ill, suffers from mental health issues, severely so. Maybe they've been diagnosed with schizophrenia or bipolar or whatever it is. Perhaps they generally are a lunatic, but I'm just getting the feeling that there's a good chance that this woman who assaulted, severely assaulted, punched an 18-month-old child, a girl, out of the arms of her mother, and then nearly stomped on her whilst the girl was on the ground. I just get the feeling that this is atypical behavior for this culprit. I just get the feeling that they have lost control. And I get the feeling that we're seeing a lot of people losing control that otherwise typically would not have lost control. So perhaps you want to ask me what do I think? Why are people losing control? If this is your grandiose theory, if this is something you feel you're seeing articles about all over the world, situations like this, why do you think this loss of control is occurring? You might want to call me Picker. A lot of people do. So if you were to say, Picker, why do you think this loss of control is occurring, loss of self-control, then I would say, well, I can't tell you, because if I did tell you my theory, I would be struck on YouTube's terms of services for misinformation. So I can't tell you what, you know, where my theory stems from. But what I can say is that is my theory. It's a weak theory. It's not a concrete theory. I may abandon my conclusions. I may drop this line of thought. But that is something that I've been thinking for a little while. And I think there's more and more evidence for all of us just to keep an eye on that. People, otherwise normal, law-abiding citizens across the world losing self-control for unnecessary reasons where there's no real motive, where the culprit has no chance of benefit, where the actions are complete overreactions. Watch out for that. Watch out for that. Give me your thoughts on that, please. Am I a crazed lunatic? Or, you know, am I thinking along similar lines to what you're perhaps thinking? I don't know. So I'll wrap things up at this point. If you do like this type of content, please do give me some feedback. I mean, I started off giving you, reading through the article. It's fairly short, and then I went on a bit of a rant. Is that a good thing to do? Or is that a boring thing to do? Perhaps. Don't know. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it, mate? So I'll wrap things up here. If you do like the content, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Take care out there. Take care out there, guys. Take care. All right. There are these crazed lunatics. Your next door neighbor may be a jolly nice fellow, but all of a sudden he may become a crazed lunatic. Watch out.